Do you want to write epic music? Let me show you how I did it with 3 sample libraries. Now, take a listen to this. My name is Eloy Sherlock, and I want to share with you the knowledge that I've acquired over the years so that way you don't make regrets when you're making purchases. And we're starting off with an epic sounding choir, Performance Samples, Oceania 2, right out of the box. It sounds like this. I mean, that's just a wow. Terrific stuff. Library number two is Performance Samples, their Pacific Strings Ensemble. It just sounds great out of the box, no tweaking necessary. Sounds just like this here. Just fantastic. It comes with your spiccatos here, clusters, whisper sustains, sordino sustains, legato, marcatos. And I'm only showing you the stuff that I used on this particular track. The marcatos it's just really terrific stuff. And then I used a Vizimate, so I'm going over here and I'm splitting up and I'm putting on here for the violins and for the violas, the pizzicatos. Just great sounding stuff. Really good. Library number three. Number three is from Spitfire. They're Albion 1. And this is an all-in-one type of library. Really terrific stuff. I needed an epic sounding percussion, so I'm using their Darwin. And it sounds just like this here. Just another wow. Good stuff. Oh, and when I'm using the samples, I use a breath controller. This is a Hornberg breath controller, and it's just really easy to use, easy on the lungs, and so then it allows my hands to be free, so I'm not always sitting there with CC1. Just really makes things efficient. And that's what I do. I try to really streamline my workflow so I'm using as few things as possible. Performance samples. Their samples are a little bit different than, let's say, VSLs, where we now require a negative delay. What is a negative delay? Well, if you're playing to a grid, like I did on here, then you want your samples to hit on 1, 2, 3, and 4. So each sound that a sample makes, it has what's called a pre-delay. That's the sound before you actually hear it. So you want to make sure that when you're playing the playback, that it's playing back on 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's on the grid. To be able to do that, you put on there a negative delay. I'm using Logic Pro, and so inside of Logic Pro, it shows right here that I have a negative delay here of minus 80. But if I had multiple sections, because I'm using key switches here, then I would highlight that particular region, and then I would go over into delay up here, and then it just gives me all these different negative delays that I would be able to use to fit. Because when we're looking at here, it's showing here that on their spiccatos, they have a negative delay of minus 20. But if I was to go on to their legato sustains, here it's a minus 180. And so you want that to be able to sound right on the beat. Otherwise, your music is just going to be a jumbled mess. And nobody wants that. You want things to sound professional. Okay. That's great on there. Now, on the percussion, it's not so much of an issue because with percussion, that hit, bam, 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 it hits, you hear that instantly. Whereas with the legato transition, you hear that it takes a little bit of time before it actually comes to 1. A little note on that. There you go. Okay, we want to write some music, and we don't want to be a collector of libraries, because once you start going down that path, you spend all your time tweaking and making huge templates and all this type of stuff. Let's just get to writing and get to know your library inside and out. Learn what all these different screens are. When you're going over to here, go ahead, look at B screen, look at all these different screens and find out what do these things mean. This performance samples library offers so much. So learn your library inside and out. Now that we've done that, we're writing the music, and we got to find out what key are we in. Because once we know what key we're in, we know that we can go ahead and use all these different chords that are in the key. For instance, this piece here I wrote, it's in the key of C minor. So that means that I'm going C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. So I can use any of those and a combination of those. So I took a G minor chord, and basically all I'm doing is I'm just going ahead and I'm orchestrating it. And because I know what key I'm in, I can then go ahead and take all these chords from that key, and it gives me a basis to be able to start writing. And if you're saying to yourself, oh, Eloy, I don't know how to orchestrate. Okay, start with the 3 Bs, Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, and just take 2 pages. You can get 2 pages of one of their scores, and you can get their scores online for free. MuseScore, you can find them all over the internet. And just go ahead and put into your DAW, your digital audio workstation, put into your DAW 2 pages of their scores and do from each one, and you will be amazed. You will be amazed what you're going to learn, because you're learning from masters, and that's what you want to do. You want to learn from the best because you want your music to sound great. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking the time and taking the time here, taking a listen to everything I've been talking about. Write down some comments, ask me some questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. God bless and take care. Bye now. Oh, practice, practice, practice.